7 safe places to store your money. People who are afraid of banks and other financial institutions will look for other places to park their money. Others may be avoiding banks out of principle, owing to their involvement in the reckless lending that led to the housing bubble bursting and triggering the Great Recession. Of course, following last year's wildly volatile stock market, banks have begun to appear safer. Nonetheless, it is worthwhile to consider these 7 alternatives. One in particular is thought to be the safest place to keep cash. If you're still looking for other places to put your money, here are 7 options. 1. Government bonds. The United States Treasury and Federal Reserve would gladly accept your funds and issue you very safe securities in exchange. Most textbooks still classify a U.S. government bond as a risk-free investment. Unfortunately, many individuals and institutions have already realized this and have entered the bond market ahead of you, driving bond rates to extremely low levels during this crisis. The yield on a 10-year Treasury note was 0.73% on April 9, 2020, an all-time low. If the low interest rates do not deter you, government bonds are one of the safest places to invest your money. 2. Real estate. In uncertain times for banks and the stock market, real estate investment can be enticing. Turn into a landlord. Put some of your principal down on a property, fix it up, rent it out, and let your tenants pay off the mortgage. If you have more experience and want a shorter-term opportunity, you could try flipping houses. When done correctly, real estate can provide a significant financial benefit. However, it can be a risky and sometimes volatile investment. True, over the last 20 years, residential and diversified real estate investments have averaged about a 10% return, which is slightly higher than the 500. However, real estate can be a risky investment, particularly in the short term. The housing bubble, which burst and caused the Great Recession, is an extreme example. Millions of people lost their jobs and homes as a result of the global economic downturn that began in 2007, resulting in a housing market crash. It is unclear how the current economic situation will affect the value of real estate in the long run. The massive hit to the economy and employment will most likely limit buyers' ability and desire to part with cash. Sellers who are desperate to sell, on the other hand, may be willing to accept lower prices. And relocations caused by people who began working from home and left cramped, expensive center-city housing have aided suburban and exurban regions in some parts of the country while lowering values in others. 3. Precious metals. One doomsday scenario in which financial markets fail holds that gold, silver, and other metals such as platinum or copper will retain, if not increase in value. Although the likelihood of having to return to a barter system with physical goods is low, it may make sense to keep a portion of your assets in this form. For one thing, precious metals have historically had a low or negative correlation with other asset classes such as stocks and bonds. That is, when those investments fall in value, metals are unlikely to follow, at least not very far, and may even rise in value. 4. Expensive assets. Fine art, cars, watches, diamonds and other jewels, and just about anything else that qualifies as a collectible fall into this category of tangible assets. In their favor, they are tangible objects that can be touched and seen, as opposed to a bank account statement, which may take time to collect if the financial institution that housed it closes. However, high-end investments are far from guaranteed. While data on their historical returns is difficult to come by, they are generally thought to have lagged stock market returns while experiencing periods of rapid appreciation due to either strong financial market performance or popularity, which increases underlying demand and resulting prices. 5. Cash stashed away. Although stuffing money under your mattress has become a cliché, it unquestionably keeps your funds nearby, if not necessarily secure. Of course, you could also conceal your assets in a safe deposit box or safe. Again, this method is probably only appropriate for a doomsday scenario or a short-term liquidity crunch. Even so, keep only a small amount on hand, not least because inflation gradually erodes currency value over time. Of course, in a deflation, the opposite is true. 6. In a business, possibly a farm. Purchasing a business can provide a return on investment, provided the enterprise generates a profit. Businesses, of course, suffer during difficult times. A farm can be a particularly tangible, if not consistently profitable, business. You don't even have to get your hands dirty. With an investment farm, you hire staff to handle the actual agricultural operations. Farmland is also a good fit for a survivalist mindset because it can produce food in the event of a global calamity or meltdown of the global financial system. 7. Digital currency. Another alternative investment option is cryptocurrencies. There are several options, with Bitcoin being the most well-known. So-called cryptos provide individual investors with a unique opportunity to invest in what is still a very new technology. This is, of course, a high-risk, high-reward opportunity. For example, after reaching all-time highs, Bitcoin lost roughly 3/4 of its value in 2018. You should not put much, if any, money into cryptocurrency that you will rely on in the future. However, most analysts believe that these alternative currencies are here to stay, and brave investors may want to put money into one of them in the hope of making a fortune. Despite the fact that the subprime mortgage meltdown has been over a decade, the financial industry is still viewed with suspicion, at least by some skeptics. And the stock market may be no less of a concern for such people, especially in light of the market's unprecedented ongoing volatility. For those who are especially wary, the alternatives to a traditional bank or stocks mentioned above may make sense for at least a percentage of net worth. However, given their risk, none should constitute a significant portion of your investments.